It's jacked up now. Time to get back on the bug. I'm gonna take the tires off just to make it a little easier to get around underneath it. And I gotta start taking the bolts apart, separate the body from the frame. Did you get the big guns off for that one? Well, we're going to start taking the pan bolts out all along each side first. Okay, the pan bolts are out on both sides. Most of them. Some of them are rotted and just spin. They're fine. When I separate the body from the frame, they're so rotted, they'll stay on the pan. The pans are in really nice shape. There's a couple spots that need to be a little patched, but I don't think I'll be changing the pans. But I am going to change the rocker panels, the heating channels. This side is shot. The other side is mostly okay, except for the bottom has a lot of rot. So I'm changing both of them. And next thing I have to do is take out the rear bolts that hold it to the frame, the body to the frame, and then I have to do the front where the head is. And the pan head is in pretty rough shape on here. So I am definitely going to replace the bottom, and the top hopefully I can repair. But I already have a bottom, so I figured I'll put the bottom on. I have a brand new bottom. All right, I'm going to work on the back bolts now. I gave it a shot of lubricant this morning, hopefully to let it settle in and loosen up. But apparently I got the wrong socket here. I'm using a 15, it's probably a 17. It appears to be a 16. Well, we gotta do something better than that. I believe it's a 16, and I just broke it free. So we're lucky there, it's coming out. So we put the ratchet on it. There we go, we got it. It was in good shape. I see the bolt though. The problem is the bolt is kind of distorted from being rusted. It's lucky it broke loose. All right, now we'll go to the other side. Not a lot of access to get behind it, but I should be able to get a little more than half. You know, weld a nut on there, or a bolt, I should say. Well, let's give that a try. I'll get a 13. We'll see if we get it. Nope. We didn't get lucky. What are we going to do next? Okay, we're going to try to grind the head off. If we get the head off, we're okay. We can deal with it later. Not successful. 5 more grinding. Finally. All right. Now we'll move to the front end, try to get them head bolts out. One came out nice. The other side, both of them broke. The one on this side is difficult. I need to use a 6-point socket. So I need to find a 17 with a 6-point socket. I'll be back. Okay, we got a 17 with a 6-point socket. That's really what you want to use on old bolts. Time for the big guns. I'd rather snap the heads off than mess with them. One head snapped off. All right, now we can move to the front. Score. One more to go. One last thing that I forgot last time was to disconnect the heating tubes that go from the heater boxes to the ceramic couplings that are in the body. And you gotta be careful because you break them off and they're tough to find. Or if you buy them remade, they're like 40 bucks a piece. So you gotta remember to take them off before you try to separate the body from the pan. All right, we're gonna give it a shot now. You don't want to forget the strut bolts. They are a must. They have to come apart before you can separate the body from the pan. Strut bolt and washers are off. Next, we have to go down in here to the spare well and take those two plugs out. There's two bolts in there, and there's also two more up there underneath the dashboard. We got to get them too. If I remember right, I have to pop these out. Yep, there's one. There's the other. There's the two bolts, one on each side. They appear to be 13s, so I'm going to try to take them out now. They were 13s. One came out and one broke off. It was easier to do off camera and then try to hold the camera and do them. They were tough. But one did come out, one broke. But the broken ones are no big deal. We'll deal with them later. So the last two bolts got to come out. The body is ready to separate from the pan. Well, the tires are on all the way around. I have the weight off the pan. Seems to be a little bit stuck somewhere. That's what we're going to work on now, getting this little bugger unstuck. Take two. I forgot to unhook the wiring from the motor, which I just did. And now I have to undo the heater hose that goes from the engine to the body. I did one side yesterday, but today I have to do the other side. Then we'll get back to lowering this thing. Okay, the back is separated. The front is stuck. It's probably hung up on a couple of the bolts that broke off, so we got a little work to do, but it's going to happen. Stay tuned. Well, I didn't videotape most of that because it literally took me hours to separate that body from the pan. And I could not figure why it wouldn't come apart. Then I realized I made a rookie mistake, and I didn't disconnect the steering box or the idler arm. I disconnected them. Still struggled and struggled. I could not get it to come apart. I thought, well, maybe some of them broken bolts are holding me up. I just kept struggling and struggling, and then I started to chase it from the back where it was separated all the way up front to where it wasn't separating. The first thing I ran into was where the Napoleon's hat runs into or is bolted into the firewall. Well, you would never believe it in a million years. Well, I guess so. Bugs get all kinds of patches. But the firewall was welded to the Napoleon hat on the driver's side, front and back. Once I got the back cut out, I thought, geez, I'm free. And it still wouldn't come apart. Then I looked at the front, and it was a problem out there. Now we're free. I can show you a picture of where it was cut, or I'll show you a little video clip of where it was welded and I had to cut it. It knocked my butt, that's for sure. It took me a few hours, but I'm done for the day. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, move the frame out from underneath it, clean my shop, and then I'm going away for the weekend, and I'll come back and have a fresh start again. All right, it was fun, but a struggle at the same time. You always got to keep at something. You can't give up because, you know, the answer is always right around the corner. All right, thank you for watching. That was welded together there where you could see the clean metal where I was grinding. That was welded together. This is on the front of the firewall side to the Napoleon's hat. It had been welded together. Same on this side. The corner on this side of the pedal, on the driver's side, the firewall was welded to the Napoleon's hat. It's apart now. See, she's moving. Okay, tomorrow we're going to get that pan out, clean up the shop. I'm taking off this whole side here so I could put a dolly underneath the front frame head and use that to wheel it around. When the struts get disconnected from her body, the tires are all over the place. I'm replacing all the tie rods and everything, so I just cut them. But now I'm undoing this bolt here, and I will take that off. I'm trying to hold one hand and do this, so I have most of it off. Good. Now I got to get a hammer and hit it right here and see if I can break that loose. That's the way you do it. Okay, you gotta disconnect the pedometer. Actually, I'm just gonna cut it because I'm gonna replace that too. Then I'll take off these two pieces on both sides. I think I have to take the tension off this by removing the sway bar. That's what I'm going to do next. Take the sway bar off. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, we got it out. Wire brush this a little bit. Wrong size, 17, probably in, let's see, 19. Oof. See if this fits. Yeah. Need the heavy duty. That'll do it. Okay, we're gonna put them on the side, put that on the side. Okay, now we're gonna do this end. They're 13s, I'm pretty sure. When I'm down here, you're gonna do the other side. Need a 6-pointer on that one, it's just spinning. Let me find a 6-pointer. Okay, time to go over on the other side. I'm not going to film it because it's going to be exactly the same as what we did here. All right, I'll be back. Well, it's separated. Wasn't the hardest job, but it wasn't the easiest either. Their body's levitating from my hoist. I'm going to clean the floor up underneath it and lower it down. That'll be my next move. Here's another view I just cleaned up underneath the floor. And here's the pan. The reason I disassembled the whole front and put it on a dolly makes it much easier to move around. Them wheels flopping all over the place could drive you crazy. I learned that from my last frame separation from the body. Just hard with the McPherson struts. Okay, just disassemble the front end before you take the frame out. Put a dolly under the front. That'll take care of it. There she is. Okay, I'm gonna lower the body. I'll give you that one last shot.